Hey everyone, it's Grassroots Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification button, be notified for our latest to the greatest episodes, as well as what just happened? As well as be sure.
That mic just turned off. I don't know what happened.
Oh, are you good? Can you hear me? Hello? Are you good?
Oh my gosh, now I can't hear you.
I knew she could hear me.
Oh, life as it is.
Let me get a 20. Let me get a 20 second.
Yeah, 20 seconds.
I hear you now. Literally, everything just shut off, and I was like,
No, we knew. As soon as they set up, I said she can't hear. It was like, there's no way she can hear. Then you were like, oh my God, everything's shut up. I can't hear. All right, I'm going again. Hold on.
okay.
All right,
Mark.
Go. Hey everyone, Grassroots Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification button, and be notified for the latest to the greatest episodes, as well as make sure that I'm sorry.
You are off your game today, sir.
Yeah, we gotta leave this all in. This shit's hilarious.
I am. All right. Yo, could you just subscribe? I'm tired of shit. I'm tired of lives. I'm tired of Zoom. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. Just subscribe. I'm Brandon Killabh, y'all. I'm done.
I'm Erin Ashley Simon.
I'm regular Nas. What's going on? I'm in the house today.
Yeah.
Also,
it's
it's
Chris
important.
Simon, so you guys can see Chris.
And it's important. Someone asked where Wylson is. He's handling some personal stuff right now, but he will be back. He's not gone forever. Just want to let you guys know.
Yeah. You guys know how he likes to take his break, so he'll be back. How are you guys?
Chilling, man. I'm in the house today.
I'm excited. Listen,
leveling up.
Listen, Nas has been on Twitter, on Instagram, on wherever else. I don't know what else naughty sites that you.
He ain't on TikTok yet.
Yeah, at all. He's gonna be on TikTok.
Yeah, the only cats want me to do all that, right?
Oh my God. Where do you guys want to start? Oh no. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. We do have to first start with respect to Fred the Godson's family from his passing. For those that don't know, again, Fred the Godson was one of the people early on that came out and was hit pretty hard from the coronavirus and has since passed away from the coronavirus, COVID. So just want to say prayers, love and respect to his friends, his family. I think I've never seen it like this. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like every day there's just that one shock where it's just like, damn, something new happened. So love and respect to his family. And then also Scarface also just came out and is recovering from COVID and is currently on dialysis. So we want to send love, prayers to him on a more serious note. Definitely shout out to them. Keep them in your prayers as well as anyone else, impacted. So.
Man, big facts.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, and from COVID to people's mental health and just all this stuff. And then now we have this Russell Simmons sexual abuse doc that is coming out as well.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Unreal. What do you guys think? I mean, I honestly kind of forgot about it until this came out. I was like, you know what I mean? Because no one talked about it. No one's really gone into the who, what's, when's, and whys, I think. So because of that, everyone's just been kind of hushed until now. I'm honestly nervous to see what's in the doc. But then I also take it with a grain of salt because we know how like certain docs are, like even with the Michael Jackson doc, a lot of this stuff came back debunked and was clearly counterfeit information. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, let's start off with some of the basic facts and information around it for those who just aren't really aware. Because if we just came across it, there's some people that might not even know that this is coming out. So it's on the record comes from filmmakers Kirby Dick and Amy Ziering, I think her name is, the Oscar-nominated team behind 2015's The Hunting Ground. And along with Drew, you'll also hear stories from other women who allege that Simmons sexually assaulted them, including hip-hop artist Sherry Hines and writer-activist Zilay Abrams. and they're teaming behind to basically tell just the journey of the story of just the sexual assaults and just the I guess the overall climate of hip hop back then as well. And on top of that, it was hard for the project to get acquired by HBO Max back in January. And Oprah, remember guys when everyone was going off on Oprah Winfrey? And she then announced, because she was a part of it, they went off on her. And then she announced that she was stepping away from the documentary due to inconsistencies. And she said it was hard because she knew that Russell Simmons had started publicly pressuring. It was a hard decision because she said that she knew that Russell Simmons had started publicly pressuring her on social media, and that pulling out of the documentary was going to look like she was being pressured. I mean, it does, yeah. Like, yeah. I don't know why. That was just a weird statement she had. Yeah, but it premieres May 27th on HBO Max.
Yeah, I don't listen, man. I'm kind of indifferent, and we should see what the victims have to say. Like, I don't want to discard what they're saying because whatever they went through is real for them. Yeah. But it doesn't look good for Russell Simmons when you move to Bali and refuse to come back. It just looks like you're guilty and you're trying to avoid prosecution. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's sad. It's terrible.
I honestly don't know what to say, just because it's like, it's one of those times where you kind of look at a person and see all the good that he's done for the culture and all the things that he's done for Black people and just people in general, right? And just in music. And then you hear these horror stories where, all these stories just start to come out, and it's like, you get put in this really, really bad place from like a fan perspective, because now you have to look at them as like humans, you know what I'm saying? Like now we have to sit here and digest someone that we've, grown up around or observing, I guess. And it's one of those things where it's like, damn, like how do we get here? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about it, especially because we haven't seen it yet. I just want to see what it is and go from there.
I just want to wait and hear them out. I think for me, anytime there's any accusations of this nature, I always want to hear out the person who is the victim. And I also want to hear out the person who they claim sexually assaulted them. Because I think it's so important. I think especially when we're in I'm the person who, like, I want to believe the facts, right? Because there's been situations where women accuse certain men and it wasn't true. And then there are situations where women have accused men and they actually did it. For me, I don't like to jump the gun. I just want to hear the stories, and I just want to see if it'll go into an actual legal proceeding, the same way that we saw with R. Kelly. And so for me, that's what I like to do. I don't like to, because I hate it when people, they'll instantly like blame someone, and it's just like, wait, let's get all the facts first and let's just see, because it gets tricky. But I think, and this is coming from someone who has family members who were sexually assaulted, and even for them, of course, we want to protect those individuals who are actually victims and hear them out, because sometimes, and most often, their voices aren't heard. But we also want to make sure that there aren't people who are just saying things just to say things for whatever their personal agenda is. And it's like that weird fine balance that we have to have. And that's why for me, I don't have any thoughts until I actually see. I'm not going to say that this was inconsistent or this was consistent. I'm not going to say that, because I got to see everything unfold in front of me before I even put my opinion forward. But I also think it's such a weird time now to put the doc out, not because of the severity of it. I think it's important to, whatever sexual assault cases are need to come to light. I think it's important to come to light. But my only concern is because it's like with everything that's going on with COVID-19, I don't know if it's going to get the attention that it deserves if all the facts are consistent, because people are just so focused and their minds are everywhere else when it comes to COVID-19. And also some people are just not in their right minds now because of the quarantine and everything like that.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think for me, it's just more so the shock that the doc is coming out. Like, that's, I guess, was my biggest thing. Like, this is like, even with people still not being in their right minds, I think that's what scares me, is that people are going to see whatever is in this doc, and whatever it is, you're now going to be held in contempt for the court of public opinion. And we don't, I wonder if we're going to get both sides, because I don't think we're going to hear his side. He's in Bali or wherever he is, right? So we're only going to get, you know what I mean? We're only going to get one side of it. And even with the one side, I'm just kind of, I guess, anxious to hear the stories. I think the stories are what will always kind of bother me.
Yeah, I wonder. Quite interesting thing is Oprah going to get flack? And Shirley went after Michael Jackson. She goes after R. Kelly, and now she's in some shape, indirectly or directly, involved in this documentary with Russell Simmons. Where it's just one of those things. It doesn't look good for Oprah. Oprah used to be A1 in the African American community. And then these past several months, with her not doing anything for Harvey Weinstein and what's the other gentleman that people were giving a flack for not coming after?
I mean, Harvey Weinstein was like the main one.
The main one. The other thing was the Saving Neverland documentary after show, where she had those gentlemen on, the victims that were in the documentary. She had them on her show. And she caught flack for that, because again, if you remember, this is like 1994, whatever it was, where she did that special on Michael Jackson, where she walked around the ranch and they were friends. So of course it then looks bad. You then go and after his passing, you have all these allegations come out, and then you go do a piece of content, kind of defaming the person that you say is your friend. It just doesn't look good optically speaking. But in the same token, it's like, okay, she's kind of has to do her job. Like I don't know. I think regardless of anything, Oprah will always catch flack, but because it's Oprah, I don't think she'll ever really get scathed like that. And I don't even know that she needs to get scathed, because we don't know what she does behind the scenes. Let's say she's had a conversation with Harvey or whomever, right? And was like, listen, moving forward, me and you have no more communication. Like we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that's the other piece.
Do you also think that maybe some of the things, the decisions she makes too, is because she knows so much more about the what the 1% can really do to people? I feel like she knows some information that most people in the Black community don't. And so sometimes I'm like, because sometimes there's sometimes I feel it's important that we have to check each other in the community. I think it's important that we have to hold each other accountable in the community. But then also sometimes I step back and think like, yes, there are some things that she needs to do better, point blank and period. She needs to do better. But then I'm also like, you know what? She's in such a top echelon and in such a high position that most Black people aren't and sadly will never be. And with that, I'm sure she knows some shit that most of us will never know. Like there's, it's just as we constantly see like these pedophile rings that are coming out with these top celebrities and 1%, and then all this information. It's a whole other world that we will never understand. And sometimes I have to look at that, because the same way that like, Brandon, like you and I have worked in the music business. There are so many things about the music industry that we know that most fans and most people will never know, because we were
or would believe us.
Yeah, and sometimes people, even sometimes we're talking about it on our podcast, they think that we're talking shit. And it's like, no, this is what actually happens. And that's the same thing. And sometimes I feel like, when people are on that top echelon, it's like the things that they can't tell us certain things because they know what the repercussions can be. It's a tricky thing. I wonder if it's like that for her. Maybe it's not, maybe it is, but I always try to think of all the possibilities.
She knows.
It's like that. Yeah.
She's been in the game since when? Since like late 80s? Late 80s?
Was it like 84? Or when did her first show come out?
You know how many of those special parties she's attended?
Yeah.
How many of those banquets? How many of those
and my thing is also as well, Nas, on to your point, like she was in and/or rubbing elbows with the likes of Trump, the likes of Weinstein, the likes of Cosby, the likes of all these people, and not obviously clumping into that because that's extreme. But I mean, it's public knowledge, right? Like I'm sure that she's seen, observed, or been privy to, and she just can't. It's one of those things where while I'm sure all this stuff is egregious. No one's saying that Oprah's a bad person, but I'm sure she's looking at it like, I can't get into this. So I just wonder how long she'll be able to avoid it, because again, you have 4 people that are known to be close with her. Not so much Cosby, I don't believe, but Weinstein and Michael Jackson and all these other people. It just, I don't know. So,
she probably knew Cosby. Listen, man. Yeah, let's go. Let's take Mr. Peabody in the way back machine, right? Just to play off of what we're talking about with Oprah. If the class remembers, Cat Williams did a special way back. And in his special, he says he went to one of these Hollywood elite parties, and he opens the door and he sees this thug rapper, a really famous rapper, doing such and such with someone over here. And he says, you get down like that? And I'm not gonna go with, he didn't name names or anything like that. And his language is a little bit more vulgar than I'm using right now because it's Ramadan. But ever since he did that special, you saw Cat Williams got in a bunch of legal trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all that to say, kind of give you context of what Oprah is probably dealing with on a grander scale, just to continuously piggyback off of each other. She's been in those circles. She knows, she's been around Cosby. She's been around Weinstein. She's been around presidents. She's been around everybody. She's the first African-American female billionaire. Like, you just don't get up there without crushing a couple of people to get where you got to go.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say about that.
I don't know. I just wonder how long you can do that. That's great. All of that is great. You can crush as many people as you want. How long can you do that until someone, again, because you're rubbing elbows, right? He just said that she's rubbing elbows with a lot of these people. I'm sure the same way that she knows stuff, they know stuff. So it's like, how long can you continuously do that until, one of you start to just put each other in a compromising situation? She can't, it's not going to make sense for her to say anything. It wouldn't, at least for right now, because again, the focus is on COVID and no one is really, really like paying attention to her as much as they probably would had it not be something more pertinent.
Yeah.
Well, also it's been, another thing is like she defended Gayle King's questioning about Kobe when he passed. But I think that, that's another reason why people are upset with her. And I don't know. I think it's so interesting because for as much that there's people that feel like Oprah didn't do that much in terms of helping the Black community. And then there's some that feel like she did. And also, like, for me personally, like, I may not like all the things that she does. Like, and that goes back to the whole, like, you shouldn't idolize people. Like, you shouldn't put celebs on a higher playing field because they themselves are just human, just like you and I. They make mistakes. They do stupid stuff all the time and etc. But, like, even for me, like, Oprah was someone who was one of the earliest Black broadcasters that I looked at and was like, I want to do that. Like how she interviewed, like I was like, I want to do that. And she inspired me to do what I'm doing. And it's hard. I feel like we have to correct celebrities and we have to correct them when we see things publicly. But I also understand there's so many things behind the scenes and there's just such a high level that we will never get to and we will never understand. And we will never understand why people do some of the things that they do. But I will say though, that the Gayle King questioning about Kobe, that was foul. Like that was not the right time. And for Oprah to defend Gayle King, then she should have had that, or at least like if she can't say anything, at least be like, listen, Gayle King, that's my friend. I had a private conversation with her, explaining X, Y, and Z. But I think I've known her for such a long time, and she was just trying to do her job, right? But that wasn't the case. And so I don't know. It's like, are we losing Oprah? I don't know. It's such a weird, fascinating thing. I hate to say that, and I say fascinating just because I'm thinking from like a journalistic perspective. Because I'm always interested in how like human behavior is, but I don't know. I'm just a firm believer. Like we have to hold all the celebrities accountable. I don't care if you're Black, you're white, you're Latin, you're Asian. If you're doing some foul stuff or you're doing something that we think is inappropriate, we got to hold them accountable no matter what.
I agree.
Yep. That level
even,
is bigger than black and white.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is. But go, sorry.
Oh, no. I was gonna say, especially like all these people that just want to say the N-word these days, like.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. I mean, there's times though where I look at it from a situational perspective, right? Like there's certain people that like even I'll speak to, and it's honestly either just a part of them from their upbringing, or it's a part of their brand, right? Like there's certain people that will say it and just say it in a comedic fashion, and it sounds funny, but I don't know. I guess as of late, it just hits a little different for me, at least. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about it. Because me, I'm the same person. There's times I still say it sometimes. And there's times I was like, yo, I'll check myself. And then there's times where I'm like, well, no, fuck it. I can say whatever I want. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? So I don't know. But then I look at like my little nephew, like he doesn't say it. So if he hears me saying it, what does that do for him? Like, how does he, you know what I mean? I just think about a bunch of stuff like that differently. What are some things that you guys think like are like, I guess, these social norms that we kind of just accept or take on the chin that we don't actually, that we should really be addressing maybe?
Social norm?
Yeah. So when I say social norm, I mean like socially, the N-word is used in urban America, let's say, right? In culture and gaming, even everywhere. What's something else that's used that really probably shouldn't be used, but it's used?
Well, easy. To steal from Louis C.K., a wife beater, the tank top.
The tank top.
Like if you think about it, it's like, yo, you're calling a t-shirt a wife beater. Like, and that comes from, when people used to watch Cops and the dudes in the South, and that's a stereotype that shouldn't be associated with the South, but it is. They're always wearing the tank tops, and so I didn't mean to beat her, and then they start doing stuff like that. And that's a term we probably shouldn't use.
Yeah.
Because it kind of just okays the violence against women.
I guess I never looked at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm just trying to think of some things. I think one that was, I feel like this toned down a bit. I don't know what the kids are saying or what term that they say, but like, remember back in the day, like we used to be like, or not we, but kids used to be like, that's gay.
Yeah.
Like I feel like kids may have like their own term for that right now. I mean, of course I use the F word, which is not okay.
Yeah.
We should stop calling people the PUSSY word. That's got to stop, I think, personally. Like, no, because it's inferring that like if you're calling someone that word, it's inferring that they're being weak, they're being bad, but that's a body part of a woman. To be a woman does not make you weak.
I think that's taken the wrong way. I want to try to explain it. It's like, because I wouldn't say that it's calling. It's not saying you're weak, right? So okay, this is all right. I'm gonna try.
But this is the thing though. That's why it has to stop.
Yeah, but hold on, Brandon. Before you get yours off, pause. That's like saying we got to stop calling people a penile head, right? Because that means that automatically, as a dude, you're being bullish, you're being hard to work with, you're being, Then where do we stop with it? When we open up Pandora's box, I understand what you're saying that. Yeah, and women are not weak. I know many strong women. I'm going to do a podcast with one. I was raised by one. I know many, many strong, educated women. But if I stop saying that word, then we got to stop saying penile head, right? We got to stop.
First of all, I don't even say that, so I don't know where you came. I've
never
heard anyone use that. No, you got
it's
friends who read from the dictionary all the time. What is your problem?
It's Ramadan. So I'm trying not to say the other word for Richard.
You're like, yo, we're losing this argument now. Like, I don't know.
No, but you
don't know what's happening.
The other word for Richard, I'm really trying not to.
I get what you're saying, but just one thing I've noticed is just any and it may not just be, it may not be you guys, but I do hear other people that utilize that, or stop being a bitch, or you're playing like a girl. Like, it's like there's certain terms that for some, maybe not for you guys, but for some people, it's referencing like, oh, you're being weak, you're being ridiculous. It takes this, it takes like this connotation as if like it's, how do I explain it? Say the connotation that it's like, oh, these are qualities that women have that are beneath men. Like, it's not the same way that it's like, oh, like they'll say like, oh, stop PMSing, right? It's just certain terms that.
Okay. All right, so this is what I want to say, because I get what you're saying. How, if you could describe the P, what would you describe the P to be? Just, I'm gonna try to walk you through it. Because I get what you're saying, but literally when guys say it to other guys in the game, it's really because the P is what? It's soft. It's
pepper. Are we talking about pepper?
I don't know about all that.
Listen, if there's some pepper in
paprika.
Yeah.
I don't know what keyword you speak of.
You better go back to OPP.
Yeah. Let's call it. Yeah, let's call it OPP. When they talk about OPP, that's that's what it is. It's saying, hey, you're soft, not hey, you are less than. That's not what it is. And same thing for bitch. Calling another guy a bitch is the most satisfying thing ever. It's the I call all of my friends bitches. I called Jovis the other day. It's like that for me. Only just because I don't call women bitches though. That's the difference though.
But
like
yeah, that's where it's a fine. That's the thing. Some of these words are just very fine line, because there are words that are utilized for women as well.
I know, but that's the thing. Like, I think about like Meg Thee Stallion. Like, Meg Thee Stallion will be saying both. She'll call herself that, and we'll say the N word. And it's like, how do we play this? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's for women too. I don't like to call, of course, I'm not innocent. I've definitely have called a woman that I did not like the B word at some point in my life.
Everyone has.
Everyone has, but I also try to refrain from doing that, because I feel like for me, that word is belittling. There's certain words that I feel like are belittling, and not just belittling for women, but even belittling for men. And I especially feel like especially in the Black community, I just have a personal feeling where it's just like, I don't want to belittle another person who is Black, because we already are consistently belittled in our life just for existing. And so to have these terms that we ourselves use, I try to minimize utilizing it, because these are words that others outside of us within ourselves in the community, or even some other words that they utilize outside of the community that they utilize to belittle us. And even some of these terminologies stem from these archetypes that they created back in the day, that were these stereotypes that slave masters and racist people developed. So that's why I'm like, it's such a fine line for some of these words and terminologies that we have, because you guys may say, oh, the PUSSY word is this representation, but it can have a whole other meaning and connotation for someone else. That's why it's like, we got to figure out a way to where it's like drawing. The only word
I really refrain from calling women, and I don't think I maybe did it once when I was in elementary.
The C word.
Yeah, see you next Tuesday. That's the only word.
Yeah.
That's the only word. Like, you drop that word, she's fighting. She is fighting.
Listen, women will call other women bitches quicker than they will use the C word. The C word takes women to another level. Yeah, like you gotta square up. Like, I've seen it. They can be like, bitch, fuck you. I did this. I'm sorry, what did you say? Like, and it goes left.
You know why? Because in my head, when you say that word, you're reducing her to that's all she is. That's all she's for. That's
just a filthy word too, though. It just sounds filthy. No?
See you next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough one, right? That's a tough one to come back from.
Yo, I'm so slow. See you next Tuesday. Oh my God.
You didn't realize that? Oh my gosh.
I have to get out the house. I have to get out the house. I have to, like, I have to. Oh my God.
Yo, you wilding over there. See, regular.
Yeah, man. What?
Nas, I got that completely. Brandon is still on the penile word before. He hasn't caught up to the see you next Tuesday.
I am. You lost the argument as soon as you said penile. As soon as you said it, I looked at Issa. She was like, because I'm sitting here looking at myself like, I don't know what the fuck that word means. Don't know what he's talking about, but I'm rolling. So, okay. And then.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Man, we got to stick together. No, man.
Well, yeah, because I stuck with you, we lost. So it's fine. It's okay.
No, man, we didn't lose, man. They get what I'm saying. The people get what I'm saying, man. They get what I'm saying.
I hear you. How you guys feel about Kanye being a billionaire, though?
No. Go ahead, E. Go ahead, because. All right. Listen.
Yeah.
It's dope, man. I think it goes back to what Hov was saying. What's better than one billionaire? Two, especially when they're from the same hue as you.
Yeah.
Like that line means so much more to me now, and I think it's dope. I think Nike is kicking themselves in the butt to see how much the Yeezy supply and the Yeezy brand has taken off, and they should have gave him the deal that he wanted. I think that he did. I think he did justice, man. I think Kris Kardashian. I think her momager skills, and I don't want to downplay what he's doing as solo by himself because I don't want to associate his success with somebody that's not African American and try to say, well, he needed her. But I think she did help. I think that she's guided.
Of course she did. That wouldn't be fair to.
But I'm just saying because some people say like, oh, see, there he is. The white man's ice is colder and stuff. People start doing that stuff, and it is. I think she's a brilliant businesswoman, and I think.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think that the Sunday services played a factor in him reaching this Billy?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think that his whole strategy, whoever helped him, whoever his team is, and I don't know if it's Kris, him and Kim sat down and they kind of came up with, listen, this is the direction I would like to go, and here's a goal that's obtainable. I love it. I think that I wish that when you and I were younger, that we had more faces that looked like ours that were billionaires. Because the first black billionaire I remember was Bob Johnson from BET. And then he sold it to Viacom. You know, so I think it's dope. Now we have Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye, Oprah, Bob Johnson still up there, and then the brothers and sisters in Africa. I think that who do tech and oil. I think that's dope, man. I think that more black and brown people need to see faces that look like theirs and say, listen, man, this is obtainable. You don't have to be the Deion Sanders when you can be the Jerry Jones.
Yeah, you can get to it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I also think it's important to note that no one succeeds solely on their own. And it's always that fine line conversation. Because even when you were saying, like, you don't want to have it where it's like, oh, he's only a billionaire because of Kris. But she did help. And he's had other people help him who were black as well. And I think that that's important to note because people will look at these individual successes. And a lot of times, some of these people's successes, they'll be like, oh, they did it on their own. They persevered. Yeah, individually they did something. But what about the person that gave them opportunity? What about the person who managed them? What about the person who gave them advice? Like, you don't succeed solely on your own. And if anyone thinks that they do, then they're out of their mind because that's just not how it happens. Like, look at, for example, Oprah. The first show she had, they didn't think that she could do it. And I forget the guy's name, but he was like, you know what, let's just go do it. And she talked about that before. And then look, it ended up being one of the best programs in Chicago. And for her to have that show, it took an EP, it took a higher up to give the green light. Whether people want to admit it or not, it took someone else to be like, okay, we'll give her a shot. Because that's how business is. It's someone else who's making the decision for someone else. So you never are going to succeed solely on your own. There will be someone else who may give you an opportunity, assist you, or help you. So Kanye has gotten the right people to work with him, to help him, to guide him along the way, for him to get to that point. But obviously, it was his perseverance, it was his mindset that pushed him individually towards that point with the assistance of others.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. 10%. CC me on that retweet.
It's like I saw Hove give like I want to say like a TED talk, or he was some speaking engagement, and somebody asked him like, "Yo, what would you tell somebody who's trying to succeed in business, in any business?" And Hove said, "So it only takes one person to say yes. That's it. You can hear a no 1,000 times. As long as you have conviction in what you're doing and you believe in what you're doing, it only takes one person to say yes." Now, I think Kanye is dope, man. He makes dope music. He has a dope fashion line that sometimes I don't get, but I'm not a fashionable guy.
Yeah, I can't afford it now at this point. I can't afford it. I said I can't afford it at this point. It's over.
But that's dope that we have an African-American line that's a luxury line. Yeah. You can consider it a luxury line. Now, when you sport Yeezy, it's like sporting a Jordan. So people who are wearing Jordans now, who are 14, 15 years old, they have never seen Michael Jordan play basketball except for YouTube. But it's a staple, and it's a statement that, hey, look, I can afford these tennis shoes. I feel mad old saying tennis shoes.
Yeah, I was about to say, hey, fam, what did you say, P-knuckle earlier? And now you're talking about tennis shoes? Like, hey, fam, you have to relax. I don't know what's happened over there.
I changed the light. I changed the light on my cell phone. I made the letters a little bigger.
I see what's happening here. Can we just talk about that for a second? Nas is showing age this entire episode. Like, number one, you said P-knuckle. Now you're talking about
I said peanut.
In my story, P-knuckle's funny. And then now you're talking about what did you say? Like the
tennis shoes?
The tennis shoes. You called them tennis shoes.
Yeah. Yo, Brandon, how many times did you hear that in elementary school?
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, Jesus, what's happening here?
But yeah, like I was saying, that's dope that Kanye has. We have, as a hip hop culture, as African Americans, as entrepreneurs, as creators, we have a luxury line that's, Versace's cool, Gucci's cool, but that Yeezy line sets the tone. Mm-hmm. That sets the tone for hip hop. That's dope. And I wish Kanye nothing but success, man. I hope that his children can kind of push that, keep pushing it. I hope that somebody else it comes up and is right behind him. Just real quick before I go on a tangent, they asked this wrestler, Cody Rhodes, who helped start AEW, who are your four, like, who would you put on the Mount Rushmore of the greatest wrestlers, right? He names like Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, and someone else. And he said, but that last one, I want it to be a silhouette, because wrestling needs new stars and needs new blood. And I think that's what every business needs. It's like, okay, yeah, the Mount Rushmore is cool, but if the four are always there, you're not leaving room for innovation and creativity and for the new people behind you, the next generation, to kind of come up. And I hope that that's what Kanye did. I hope that, and that's what he's doing. I hope that there's somebody else that, who knows, maybe it's side money. Who knows, that comes up behind them and goes like, this is what I can do. And everybody went this way, cool. I want to go this way, and I'm gonna make y'all love it.
But also, we need to note that Kanye, when you are, it kind of goes back to what we were discussing about with Oprah. Like, for you to get to that millionaire status, you're going to be doing things and probably have to make decisions that you usually would not want to, and you have to, right? I even though it's weird, because Kanye throughout his career has had to make decisions, and it's been interesting. If you think about it, it's been interesting. He's been doing this. He's been having to do things in his career where he either had to cater to the Black community or cater to the white community. And and I don't know if he is purposely doing this or just unintentionally. I don't know the man, but he's been doing that. Yeah, I don't know him. He ain't on my speed dial. I see your face, Brandon.
This is true. No, I'm rolling with you. No, I'm rolling with you. I'm just saying I'm rolling.
But when people go to that level, right, they have to make these tough decisions. And if you notice, whether it's Jay-Z or even Beyonce or even Oprah or even Kanye, there's definitely been points where we've all been, or when I say we, I say the Black community have been upset because they themselves still had to find ways to cater to different demographics. And I feel like the more successful you get, you have to make these tough decisions. And it goes back to what we're saying, like, we don't understand, right? The one person, though, which is really interesting, the one person who hasn't had to shift in terms of the demographics she has to cater to is Rihanna. But the question is, though, is that preventing her from getting to that billionaire status? She is a millionaire. I don't know. Did she hit billionaire yet?
She didn't hit a bill yet, but I'm sure with Fenty alone, the number. Well, I can't even say that because she was pacing really, really well, and then COVID hit. I don't know how that's impacted her from a makeup line perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Yeah, it says 600 million.
600 million.
So
600 million.
So is that
no, not billion, million.
So is that determining factor by getting into the billionaire status, making that adjustment, making those decisions? I always find it interesting. Like, for example, how Oprah went, if you notice, even she had a transitional moment, right? And even now she's still, you know, I guess presenting wise caters towards women empowerment stuff, but she's not really so much near like empowerment for Black community. Yeah. And then Kanye had that moment as well. I mean, with the Sunday service, he's gone a little bit back, but I don't know if that decision was, I don't know about that decision entirely, if that made a whole drastic change or anything like that. But I'm also wondering for Rihanna, like, will her just sticking to the Black community and catering to the people of color, is that going to help her get towards the billionaire status? Or will that keep her from getting to that billionaire status? I always wonder about that, about like, especially with these decision-making moments. And if that even affects anyone, or if it's a case-by-case basis. I don't know. Yeah. You guys, you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I think Rihanna is just one of those people that she kind of floats at her own accord. Like, you know, the world is still waiting for her project, right? And she's just still like, yeah, I'm lit in Jamaica and I just dropped this new Fenty line. Like, I think it's all about just doing what's in your comfort zone to that feels right versus doing what I guess could get you to the victory line, because it's like, you think about it, if we're using Oprah, right? Sure, she's successful and everything, but to constantly be scrutinized by a community that you, meaning Oprah, feels like she's given to because of some of the choices she's had to make, I'm sure that that's not easy to sleep with at night. And then I look at it from a case of, yeah, but if you take those moments away, do we even still talk about Oprah? I guess it would have to be, what's your agenda? Like, do you want to, like, what do you want out of it? You know what I mean? Like, I guess the objective is always what you want, and then that will kind of work itself out, I guess.
Man, if the I'm sorry, Eve, I just wanted to say, if the finish line isn't 600 million, I got no chance of getting to the finish line. I'm like, geez, Louise, boy.
Well, we already had this conversation. I already know how you guys feel about that. I mean, money, it's, for me, that while that's an amazing figure, and yeah, that would solve a lot of life problems, after the life problems are over with, do you think that your problems get better or worse with 600 million? Like, honestly.
Worse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's at the end of the day, that's why it's not about that. Like, at least for me, it shouldn't be about the money, because if you hit the lotto right now, is that going to change you with mental health? Is that going to change how you treat people, how people treat you, how you're viewed? Like, is it going to change how you are? Huh?
That make things a lot easier.
I don't think so. I think I'm sure, but I think you give someone that is mentally unstable, or someone that is not truly self-aware, 600 million, I could see them going down a slippery slope. Case in point, DMX. And that's with respect, because I love DMX. DMX was one of the most popular artists ever. Think about DMX's run. Think about it. He is the same person that was renting out hotel rooms, doing all types of crazy stuff, and was one of the most impactful artists, and still is one of the most impactful artists of our time, right? But to see the hardships that he's had to endure to come with all of that money, and still have an addiction, and then still deal with whatever other demons that he's never been able to resolve just from sheer communication, you could see him now trying to get back to the Lord. Like, did you guys see that stream that he did, the IG live where he was giving service? I thought that shit was dope. Like,
Yeah, that's
but it made me sad because I'm just like, here's a man that literally had everything, like everything you could ever. No, but even with having everything, meaning money, spirituality, he still wasn't right within. And so again, he you got to be right within. Money is not going to solve that shit.
I think another thing people have to understand is you can't run away from problems. You'll always have problems. It'll just be a different set of problems. Like that's how life is. Like you're never in life going to have no problems whatsoever. Maybe for a time frame, in short period of time, everything goes smoothly, but that's not how life works. Life is just one of those things where you will constantly get crapped on. And it's just in different forms. It's just different amounts, different times. Different amounts at different times. You're going to get crapped on because that's just it. And I think that a lot of times people try to get money and try to do these things to solve problems. Now, it may solve one problem or that problem, but it's not going to solve every single problem because you will have more problems. And that's why dealing with yourself and making yourself better is more so to allow yourself to be able to maneuver and handle these problems in a better and healthier fashion than if you didn't work on yourself. That's all it is. If you think about it, therapy is just teaching you to be able to heal yourself and to help yourself get better so that you can deal with problems in life. Because problems it's always a constant. That's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with that.
I was just thinking about the task of trying to go from 600 million to 1 billion, right? Now, if you look at just like in sports and track and field specifically, it's easier to go if you're running like a 200 meters to go from 25 seconds down to 21 seconds. It's easy to make that jump. The hard part is to get from 21 to 20. That 1 second, and I think we've all done collegiate sports, that it's such a fine line between that elite person who can make that turn and that person who can't, right? Who just hits that ceiling. Yeah. And I think that Rihanna is one of those people that she's trying to find how to tune that little extra work that she's trying to do to make that turn, if that's her goal.
I think Rihanna don't give a shit. She high somewhere chilling, taking her time, pacing herself, and just putting out Fenty. And whenever the world gonna get it, they're gonna get it, and she's not pressed. And that's why I think people like Rihanna, because Rihanna walks down the street and is Rihanna every day. No way, shape, form, or fashion. She's her. She's not worried about numbers. She's not worried about money. At least it doesn't appear to be. I'm sure she is, but it doesn't appear to be. Because if she was pressed, that album would be out. Probably a few more albums would be out. She's chilling. She's doing whatever works for her, and I support it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I also think that's why she's succeeding so well in finances, because I think that, like, yeah, there are some people who can grow and prosper financially by, maybe they're being themselves, but not entirely being themselves, and making these pivots and decisions, right? Those are like the people like Oprah, right? Where I feel like we feel like we all know Oprah, but I don't think we all truly know who Oprah is as a person, right? It's in that context. But then you have people like Rihanna, who is staying true to who she is. She's like, this is me. And she's been like that throughout her entire career. And the fact that she's pro-Black, and the fact that she's been solving problems, even with Fenty, like the basic problems that have been a problem for the entire beauty industry that, like, even as big companies just were ignorant to do, having these multiple shades of colors, like darker colors. And I think that for her to be herself, and for her to do that, it's people are buying it not only because that she's solving a problem or trying to assist with a problem that's in the beauty industry, but that's who she is. She's always been an advocate. And so that's why she's also receiving so much support. And it kind of goes back to, like, people, and this is something that I always try to talk to people about. It's like you're going to win more long term if you're being yourself. If you're putting on this persona, you're going to have to keep this persona going on. And at some point, some people break under that persona, and then it affects them business-wise, personally, and etc. Rihanna has always been herself. Like, she will cuss you out on social media. She will say no. She don't even care if she's being interviewed. If someone steps out of line, she corrects them right then and there, right? So I think that just is a testament to, like, you can succeed by just being yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think that she receives free Hennessy and Louis Vuitton?
Of course.
She has a perfume made from her scent, apparently. Man.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I'm saying Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy is the parent company for Fenty. Just wanted to know if they just ship her stuff on a reg, like that's just.
I'm sure they do. Hey, Rihanna, it's your birthday. Here's a $5,000 purse or wallet or something stupid. Like, I'm sure they do all of that stuff. I'm sure.
Yeah, and probably other brands too. They do that already with influencers. They'll be like, "Hey, I see that you grew 6 feet taller. Here's a package celebrating that growth."
No, for real. They you get packages for anything.
I think that's just dope to me. You just get free gifts. Like, you have the money to afford it, but they just gonna give it to you for free.
I like it. I like free stuff. Listen, anytime anyone, especially esports gaming, want to send me something like a free game or whatever, I'll take that. Well,
word. Listen, I ain't too proud. I'll take it too. Y'all go ahead and be proud. And if you have food or toilet paper, that would be helpful too in this time of need, because it's hard.
Yeah, can we get that Lysol sponsorship? I'm gonna need that real quick.
Lord, man, fucking cleaning supplies. So me and E attended Travis Scott's virtual Fortnite concert this weekend. Did you guys attend?
No, I didn't.
Don't say nothing bad about Fortnite, because I see your face. Don't judge us either.
No,
because you're old and washed and your hands cramp up don't mean that, you know what I'm saying, it has nothing to do with us. We were playing a game and saw a really, really dope virtual concert with Travis Scott.
I saw something on somebody's Twitter of Travis Scott, and his stomping was in line with the beat.
It's crazy.
And I thought that joint was just fun. I thought that was dope.
Yeah.
I'm not going that was fire. I can't do it. But
I've seen it 3 times, and it's the exact same show. There's no difference. But the show, the way that they move the show in the game is really, really fire. He bodied that. I bought him.
And just for some facts, he saw an immediate and significant bump in listeners, according to Alpha Data, following the announcement. Monday and Tuesday, his streams increased by 26%, with some songs I'm sure
Goosebumps went up, and it was 2 of them. What was the other one? Goosebumps and what's that Jack the song? Hold on, I'll tell you.
There's a few others, but they jumped over 50%. They were jumping up over 50% ahead of the Fortnite show, and then also the Scott song that dropped with Kid Cudi, which is fire, by the way. And it took Spotify's biggest streaming debut of the year. Kid Cudi and obviously Travis Scott hinted at a future project, which it works really well for those two. Over 12.3 million players logged in to see Astronomical Tour, beating the Marshmello concert previous 10 million concurrent players. And it's just, it's just a testament to not only Fortnite, but I think it's important to note that this can only work well with Travis Scott. And let me explain why. And I say this because Travis Scott, even before Fortnite, he was an artist that always focused in on the in-person experience for his tours. The Astro World, how he wanted not only his music to represent that festival roller coaster kind of vibe, but also he implemented those things into the actual show. Travis Scott's Handout. Have you ever gone to a Travis Scott concert? It's one of the best experiences I've ever gone to in terms of music.
I went this weekend.
Yeah, there you go. And so he worked really well. Not to say that other artists can't do well, but just it fits so well with his brand and just his in-personal experience and taking this festival hippie vibing atmosphere that he had in his inexperienced shows. He did it in Fortnite, and that's why I feel like it did really well for him. And honestly, it was the best event in Fortnite aside from the Black Hole.
Yeah, I agree. I've never been to a Travis Scott concert outside of this weekend. And honestly, I'm curious to know if he was a part of the design for this as well, visually, because it looked like the clips that I had seen from Kanye's show, the light show. What was the light show? Chris, you would know this. God damn it! Come on, Kanye's light show. You guys know what I'm talking about.
The Glow in the Dark tour.
Glow in the Dark. Thank you. The glow in
Thank
the
you,
dark
Chris.
store. It reminded me of clips of that, and I'm mad. I'm gonna go to a Travis Scott concert. I say that to say I'm going to a Travis Scott concert, like in real life. But I want to counter you, E. I do think I can name two people that I think that would be good for him. One, Ed Lover Hates, and that's 6ix9ine. That would be good for it because his shows, while I'm sure he'll never be able to do that, probably in his backyard. But I'm saying him doing that, I think would be good because he's one of those in-person artists. But my sleeper pick, and y'all may roll or not, Little Uzi Vert could pull this off. Uzi could pull this off. Think about it. Uzi is that kid that's crazy all over the place, going up to school buses. Like, listen, he could pull it off. I'm telling you, he could pull it off. On the low, he could pull it off.
I don't doubt any of these young cats, man. These cats have proven everybody wrong. A lot of these young cats, especially Travis Scott, Little Uzi Vert.
The baby's another one, maybe.
Yeah, the baby.
I don't know if he's big.
No.
I don't know if he's big enough yet. Yeah, I take that back. I love the baby, but I don't think he's big enough yet. Yeah, my short shot is Uzi. That's the only person I can think of.
Uzi I think could do it, but it just has to make sense for him. I think that this whole tour for Travis made sense just off of the previous Astroworld. That concept, how he took the Astro World and he took the like traveling to a whole new. He says that he wants to have it be experience, and I think that's why it worked well for him. Because think about it, obviously you're gonna get the numbers because you're fans, but Travis Scott pulled in people who aren't even Travis Scott fans. He was getting people who aren't even Fortnite fans to tune in just because of the experience of what it is. I think Little Uzi, it just has to make sense for him as a brand because there have been other Fortnite events that they just did stuff and it just did not make sense. And everyone's like, this is kind of whack. So it's just about figuring out, like, so if Little Uzi Vert did it, he would have to figure out doing it a whole different other way and having it be an actual experience and a social media worthy experience.
I think the next step for Fortnite, if I'm them, would be to take this shit to the next level and go virtual reality.
Black Mirror.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it. That's the only way. Like, think about it. When we watched that concert, even though it's clearly a video game, it was a real life experience. Like, you're flying all over the place. You're looking at Travis Scott stomp on worlds and then jump over and go someplace else to then you riding next to him while he's riding on top of Astro World to riding on top. Like, it's a whole big experience. Can you imagine that in like a Black Mirror-esque type of reality, I guess? Like,
I'm gonna add one to that. Before we even get to VR, they should have it, and this is super hard to do, right? This is gonna be super hard, but they should have it where there is a little difference in every person's experience when they're watching it.
Yeah, that's tough though.
That's really tough.
But
I don't think it's that tough because that's actually a really good idea because you think about it, we do that now in like video games where you can make those decisions where it's like if you choose A, your path is going to be different, but if you choose B, you know what I'm saying? Like, they probably could do it.
Or set up multiple options. So then it's like you like if you're watching it and I'm watching it, I could see something a little bit different than what you saw.
If we're in the same parties or different parties.
And that would cause more people to want to jump in to see which option they'll see or something like that. Because I think that the one thing with the Travis Scott thing I wish that they had was that for every single day and time, it should have been something different or slightly different.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Easter eggs.
Yeah. That'd be dope.
Damn.
Sign me up, Epic Games. I'm here for hire.
I wouldn't be mad at that now thinking about it. What's another? I was trying to think. I was having a brain fart. I had another idea, but I can't think of it. But yeah, I'm not mad at the first one. I'm not mad at the first one at all.
Yeah, that will be a dope experience, man. But I think that one little part I saw, I thought it was dope. But
listen, are you going to get on Fortnite with us? You can't say anything bad about Fortnite. I'm for Fortnite now.
Right now, I'm kind of mad at my Xbox. I already told you guys before.
Well,
you still haven't bought the games? Yeah. What is wrong with you?
You know why?
You haven't bought them online? You're still waiting for the disc to come in? Did you go to GameStop or something?
It's free,
No.
bro. Like it's free. You don't have to. It's free. It's like.
No, man. I'm waiting now. I'm just gonna wait till PlayStation 5 comes out. I'm gonna
So
use
hold
my
on.
Xbox.
Bro, do you know how long that's probably going to be?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Yo,
I'm very angry at my Xbox. I'm very angry. I had these problems with my PlayStation. Man.
Your Xbox should be mad at you for purchasing it. You should be on PlayStation 4. I don't know why you would I don't know why you would do that. Like I would be mad if I was an Xbox on the shelf and you purchased me. I would be like, yo, you mad?
Xbox One X?
Why? Huh?
Xbox One X? I love the interface. I love going through the way I move through Netflix and Disney Plus. Yeah.
Oh,
man,
that's why I made it.
I don't care if you're an Xbox person. I'm just still baffled by the fact that you still do CDs. That you're worried about a scratch CD when you could just get the game online.
Fam, I did not scratch my CD.
You scratched the CD. You probably were over there with the liquid, rubbing it. You were rubbing it out. You were trying to rub it out. You try to rub the scratch out. And then you're frustrated.
Arthritis.
Now you got arthritis. That's why your hands are cramping. Looking like you're already decrepit, Naj. You don't have to make yourself more decrepit. Go and buy the game online. Let it download.
I'm not decrepit.
Damn, man, she hit you with the dictionary word against you. She's killing you right now. Hit you with decrepit, bodying you. Look at my finger, body.
Yeah, it was so funny. Remember when he said he was like, "I'm so frustrated because the CD got scratched. It wouldn't read the CD." I didn't hear anything else he said except the fact that you were just putting a CD in your Xbox. What is wrong?
Yeah, that's all I heard was you putting.
Now everybody's gonna be in the comments like, "Yo, regular Nas is 172 years old. He got his specs on big bold."
They need to know what it is, man. It's all right. Embrace your old shit, man. I support you.
Yo. Next thing Nas is gonna say is he's gonna be like, "Oh, I wasn't able to record the Michael Jordan doc because my VHS isn't working."
See, VHS is the tape. You're talking about a VCR.
No. The VHS is what you record on. Thank you, sir. The same way that your
VCR, but you need a VCR.
Yeah,
Aaron.
but your VCR can work, but you're not going to be able to record it if your VHS isn't working.
True.
You thought you got me with that old reference.
You can't punch the little hole. Once you punch the little hole, you can't record over it anymore.
No, that's how I know you. That's how I know you don't know how to get down, because you can. All you do is just put a piece of tape over and you right back in the game, baby. And if you don't have tape, you can put a piece of paper. You can put a piece of paper just like this in the little thing, and it will record. Trust me.
See, you got some Jersey. You got some Jersey.
Listen, you got to figure out your solutions. You know, we in the area. We in the tri-state bootleg area.
Yeah,
you got to figure it out, son.
Gotta figure it out.
We had major bootlegs over this tri-state area.
Word.
Bootlegs
and everything.
Yo, you know how bad it was? It was so bad that they were even putting church services on bootleg CDs.
Yeah, damn, man. I wonder if my CD guy is still alive. Shit.
I'm not gonna lie. The first time I saw Tyler Perry play was on a bootleg DVD. Somebody in the dorm room had.
Yo, I can't lie. On the low, my grandpa used to be the bootleg king. He had mad CDs, church services, freaking Cat Williams stuff. He had everything. I was just like, yo, like anything that you could get on a bootleg CD, my grandpa definitely had.
Yo, bootlegs used to be the wave. Like, do you remember when you would get a bootleg and you would kind of grade the bootleg? Like, if it was like fuzzy, you'd be like, hey, yo, this is a bad copy, even though it was all a bad copy when you think about it. Like, they were all bad. They were never good.
The camera would be like this while you're watching it. It's like, because someone's like picking the camera up to put it at the screen. And then they hide it whenever someone comes by. They're just like.
Yeah. Or somebody walks past like this. You're just like, word, fam, you just gonna sit there in front of it, word, like, man, bootlegs was always, them shits was king.
Now is it I went to the barbershop, a lady came through, she was still selling bootlegs. I was like, yo, get out of here. You want a CD? I was like, no, man, get out of here.
You went to the barbershop.
Not recently.
Naj, I ain't gonna lie, Naj, you gotta tell me what you did to get your hair back, man. That's crazy. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. This is the first time I've ever hated in my life. How did you do it? I want my hairline back. I miss her.
My hairline is like, wait.
Yo, big foreheads unite. I'm there too.
Yeah, we all have. Listen, man.
Oh, wait, look. Natural hair, Erin. I'm out here.
Listen, we out here. Shit is fucked up, man.
Got my fro. Curly fro over here.
Listen, man.
Yeah, I saw you cut your joint earlier.
Yeah,
Yo.
I'm dying.
You're dying? Yeah, I'm a pro
Yeah.
now. I know how to cut. I got to use my phone, but I know how to cut my hair in the back with my phone and then watching through the mirror. Because when I wash my hair, all the top, it curls, so it doesn't touch anywhere near the sides. So I'm able to just...
So you gotta, yeah.
Yeah,
You real?
so I've been able to... And I've been able to line myself up a little bit. I got to brush it, but I was able to line it up a little bit.
That's a good line. Are you using razor or just clippers?
I use both. So I'll do the clipper and then I'll brush and then I'll use scissor to just clean it up a little bit.
I want to ask you guys a question real quick
Yes.
while we're talking about dyed hair. Dennis Rodman.
You're gonna admit it? Oh.
Well, I know. I dyed my hair in high school, but that dyed hair. Dennis Rodman's the Last Dance joint is coming tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're gonna learn anything new about Dennis Rodman that we don't already?
I've seen it already. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those people. Man, you whack.
Listen,
Brandon always wants to cheat. Brandon was always the one who wanted to cheat on his tests and stuff.
Nah, man. I did.
You ain't trying unless you cheating.
That's one thing. I'll be honest with you. I was always a horrible test taker. I was never a good test taker.
Oh man, that whole test, it's a whole scheme, bro. That means nothing.
Yeah, like I was never a good test taker.
To a limit.
To a limit.
Test taker now.
I want to see the rest of this doc though. I'm liking it like a lot, especially hearing the different perspectives. Like hearing Jordan talk about like the things that are being said about him. Like I have literally every Michael Jordan doc, right? This one is different just because you could see him. Like I've never heard him or watched him sit there and be like, well, look, maybe I just ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? Like he's giving a different energy. Like Jordan's like, I don't buy my sneakers. Like he talking like that. I'm just like, well, damn, MJ, you keeping it a buck.
The older black men get, the less and less they care.
No, that's black people, because women are the same way. Black women will tell you about yourself in a second.
Yeah. Hold on, let me ask y'all a question.
Yes.
How many episodes come out this week? Because I want to tell y'all something, but I don't want to ruin it.
2.
So that would put us at episode 4, right?
Right. You saw the whole thing?
Yeah, 3, 4.
How many parts are there? There's 8 parts?
10.
I saw a good portion of it.
Yo, you whack. Don't talk to me.
Yo.
I'm not, no.
Talk to me.
Now, see, I was going to try to get the link for y'all, but all right, whatever.
Nah,
I know someone else who has the link.
Nah, I'm going to watch it right here at 9 o'clock. But I'm going to let you know something, too. Like, I see everybody's like, oh, Jordan's the GOAT. Jordan is the GOAT. But I'm going to be honest with you, I hated Michael Jordan growing up. I did not want to be like that dude. I was such a Knicks fan that I knew we were going to lose every time he played.
I'm so sorry for your childhood. Like, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I couldn't stand Michael Jordan because he was that good. Like, I would watch him. Damn, so this dude never misses.
Arrogantly good. Yeah, arrogantly good.
I couldn't stand Michael Jordan, bro. Couldn't stand. I love Dennis Rodman simply because he was himself.
Yeah.
Like, I hated Scottie. I hated Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, see, you're the problem. I almost ruined something. Listen, that's why. You just remember this timestamp. That's why.
What?
You got this. Just remember this timestamp. After you guys watch up the shit, just remember why I said that's why. After you talk about Scottie Pippen, you're disrespectful to hip hop. You're disrespectful.
How? Your mic went out.
To Scottie.
How?
It's Scottie. I'll let you watch it. I'll let you watch it. Y'all don't give Scottie enough. And you out of all people.
No. You're misunderstanding. They're great basketball players. Michael Jordan's the greatest. He's the greatest. I just hate as a fan. I didn't like him because of his greatness. I didn't like it because Scottie was. They were out there thugging the Knicks. They were thugging them, man.
Even after MJ left, they were still giving them the business. So yeah. But all right, that's all I had to say.
That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
That's all I had to say.
I miss you guys like in person, man. It's just weird. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I don't mind it.
I can't wait to see us.
Kidding.
I can't wait to see all of us get back together when we go to that
Strip club?
WNBA game. No. No.
I just wanted to throw Nas off. I was trying to throw Nas off.
Yeah, I looked over for a second. I heard that shit. I was like, wait.
Nope. I was referring to the WNBA. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah, man. Quickly before we end, there's this guy who was talking smack about the WNBA. I gotta pull this up because I definitely put my response was, putting down, those GIFs where people put down their chairs and then they go and sit on it. I definitely had to put that one down for this because this guy said, where is it? Hold on. He was talking smack about, here you go. So this guy says one of the weirdest his handle is, like, if you want to go talk to him, his handle is, actually, no, I'm not going to give him any exposure. Bye. No. He said one of the weirdest new phenomenons in the leftist ecosystem is its determination to keep insisting the WNBA is a pro sport in the same league as what people normally mean when they say pro sports: NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB. Natasha Cloud from Washington Mystics came back and said, "Hey, Harry, come play me, DM me, and I'll send you the addy. Don't be a bitch boy either. Show up or shut that ass up."
Call him a bitch. That's when you call him a bitch. Got to. That's crazy.
I became a fan of her. I became a fan of her.
Full circle. I'm going to follow her now. This is when it applies. You see what I'm saying? Yes, call him a bitch. That's stupid.
But who really set it off? I tried to go back and search, but he deleted it. Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter said, first time that it feels like forever a real life sporting event. And that's when somebody else said the WNBA draft was 6 days ago on ESPN2, but it goes off, I guess. So Adam Schefter really set it off, but he deleted it.
Yeah, he better delete it. He got a daughter and has her daughter interviewing. Yeah. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
come on.
That's nasty.
Because I went back to go look for it. I can't find it. Damn
crazy.
It's the same. Crazy. It's the same way when people talk smack about esports pros. All right, go 1v1 them. If it's so easy to game, if it's so easy to do that, go 1v1. He hasn't responded. He'll get dunked. And on top of that, Ariel Powers tweeted, "Oh, me and Natasha said we'll do 2v2. He can pick the other person." Yo, he'll get washed. I hate and this is where it goes back to it kind of goes back to that connotation, like I said, when guys are like, "Oh, stop playing like a girl, stop doing it." That has to stop, because if you are good at what you do, you're good at what you do. And this guy, clearly, it's always the ones who never played at a top competitive level, who were never professional, who the greatest thing that they have in their sports career is that they got a participation award in Little League. Those are the ones that always want to say the most about women athletes. You don't know jack shit. And if you think that it's not serious, then play 1v1 up against them. The same way that Serena Williams shut down those guys playing tennis, do the same thing. I want to see him play 1v1. Let's go.
Them dudes, though, that dude, I see his name right now because I retweeted something. That dude is first team all bleachers. That's all he is. First team all bleachers, baby. That's all he is.
Nah, man, that guy's not first team all bleachers. That's the guy who said he's the guy who said he was on the team and documented he wasn't on the team, but never was. He was on and when he said he was on the team, he only went for a practice for one day and already got booted.
Yeah.
All intramurals. That's all he is. Remember that? The intramurals.
It just makes me so mad. And it's not just like a women's thing. I hate it when people try to downplay something that's competitive or something along those lines, and because they look at it and think that, it could be easy to do, it shouldn't be a real sport. No, you've never done it in your life. I'm not going to sit here, and even though I'm not a fan of golf because I don't really like to watch it except when Tiger Woods plays, I'm not going to sit here and be like, it should be easy to hit a golf ball. I'm not going to sit here and say that. That's crazy. Or the same thing with curling, right? People all these different things where people are playing at a high competitive level takes a level of skill set. You can't just think that you can just go and do it. And that's why, even for esports, people are like, "Oh, it's not a sport." Why? Because you say there's no physical activity. There is physical activity. They're utilizing the keyboard and mouse. Do you know how hard it is to have that, to move that fast and have precision? You know,
hand-eye coordination, solving puzzles, mind mapping in the game. Like, I don't think people give gaming enough credit the way that they do. Like, I think if people really heard how, well, they do hear, you know, from your streams. But I'm saying, like, how we really are, like, tactical, like when we're super serious, not just streaming. I think that they would have a different look at it. You know what I mean? Like, this is serious shit. Like, I don't think people get it. So I agree with you.
But people like to say that something isn't a sport, and they only say that because they don't understand, or they're just straight up sexist, or they're just straight up racist, or they're just straight up ignorant. Like, that's they mask those intentions with claiming that, oh, it's not a sport. But it's like, how do you know it's not when you, like, if you can't do it, how can you say anything? Like, you don't know. And same thing with esports. That's why I'm happy now. And I'm not saying happy in that sense, but more so happy that, like, esports content is the content that traditional sports companies and people are using. Because now it's like, oh, you're forced to give this community respect. You're forced to give respect to this content. And now you realize it ain't so easy putting on these events. Y'all thought it's just turn on a controller and it's not. And now I'm sorry. And then now people are like, oh, this is actually really cool. Oh, wow. You're seeing pro race car drivers who can't even do virtual racing. Like, come on, guys. Like, you got like, that's why I'm so passionate talking about this. Like, I'm someone who is very open-minded to different things. And I hate when people are so closed-minded and want to write something off just because they don't understand it or they can't do it themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly don't have nothing. That is literally a perfect statement about gaming and just all of that culture. I 100% agree. And the fact that people often will just disregard things just because it's challenging rather than just trying to understand it because they would enjoy it if they ever given it a try. So I think that's the other big thing too, is that people just aren't open-minded enough to just want to try gaming just to see. I mean, it's weird, but whatever. I guess for the fans, let us know what you guys think about everything we talked about today. I think we had a really good conversation. Let us know your thoughts around, you know, gaming and what you think about especially the comments that were made. That's really crazy. That's
first team motivation, man. Get him out of here.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, be sure to subscribe. Grassroots Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Be sure to hit the notification button to be notified for our latest and the greatest episodes. Also, be sure to sign up for our newsletter as well as our Discord. I'm Brandon Killabh.
I am Erin Ashley Simon. Give me the smoke.
I'm regular Nas. Listen, man, I'm on Twitter all day now, baby. I got nothing else to do. I'm here for it, man.
Yo, Nas is for the tweets, man. He out here for the tweets.
I'm here for it, dude. I'm here for
it. All right, we out.
Peace.
Grassroots.